My sons, they have my heart, and in this picture they're so cute, quiet, bracing themselves for the grocery store. But it's a different story when we're actually shopping. So loud, so rambunctious, and as in typical toddler fashion, giving mom a run for her money during the grocery trip. But while I was shopping for another recipe video, I stumbled across beef cheeks, cachetes de res. Growing up, this is what we ate as barbacoa. My grandfather, when he grew up in Mexico, barbacoa was basically goat or lamb, and they would cook it in a hole in the ground with hot rocks and coals and banana leaves. But in the States, specifically Texas, where I grew up, we would go to the local meat market or carniceria, wait in line on Sundays with everyone else to get our fresh corn tortillas and 1 or 2 pounds or libras de puro cachete barbacoa, which is beef cheek barbacoa because it's tender and it's mainly meat. And barbacoa can come from the cow's head, but specifically we used to get the cheeks. So today I am going to make 2 pounds of barbacoa. And the seasoning is fairly simple and easy. It's not a long list. I will be using 1 teaspoon of salt per pound of barbacoa, which I have 2 pounds, so 2 teaspoons of salt. I will be using garlic and 2 bay leaves. And I'd also like to add some liquid smoke, and this is optional. Now, you don't have to use this. I like to use it to add a level of smokiness to my beef cheeks. Now, you absolutely do not have to use liquid smoke. With the salt, bay leaf, and garlic, it's just fine. But I want to add a hint of smokiness, so now I am going to add 5 drops of liquid smoke into 2 tablespoons of water. And the reason I do this is to try to evenly distribute this liquid smoke throughout the meat. Because if I just dropped it on top of the meat, it might not permeate and saturate all over. So you want to add it to a little bit of water and brush it on there. So I'm going to give it a good mix, and I will be adding this to my meat once I add it to the crock pot. Okay, so I actually removed the beef cheek already from the packaging. I gave it a really good rinse in cold water, and now I'm going to add it to my crock pot with the rest of the ingredients. I'm adding 2 large cloves of garlic, 2 bay leaves, and I actually found half of a small onion in the back of my refrigerator, so I'm going to toss that in as well. And actually the onion does go nice in the crock pot with the beef cheeks. Now I'm going to brush on my liquid smoke mixture to the top of the beef cheek. And the reason I do this is because eventually everything's going to settle to the bottom of the crock pot with the juices and the rendered fat. So the bottom is going to be very flavorful, but I want to make sure the top gets a nice even coating as well. Now I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of salt. And I would like to mention that typically when making beef cheek in the crock pot, or at least the way I do it, I do not add liquid to it. The rendering of the fat and the natural juices that release from the meat are enough for the crock pot, so no water is required. The only reason I added water was to evenly distribute the liquid smoke flavor to the meat. I typically like to cook this overnight for about 12 hours and set the crock pot on low. But today I want to eat this for dinner, so it is morning right now, and I am going to set this on high and cook it for 8 hours. Okay, so my house smells wonderful, and my appetite is only heightened with this delicious barbacoa, and I am ready to make tacos. Now, to round out my childhood memory and give my barbacoa the meat market or carniceria feel, I'm going to line this plate with parchment paper, or you could use wax paper because typically that's how they would give it to you, on a paper boat with wax paper in it, and then boom, you're a pound of barbacoa. And I can't tell you, I am so ready to eat this. It is so tender. And I do want to add, don't shred it in the crock pot because this meat is going to fall out into shreds of tender beef. So you want to make sure you take it out and shred it because you don't want to lose any piece of this tender barbacoa. I want to show you what the inside of the crock pot looks like. And pretty much this is all just from the meat, aside from the 2 tablespoons of water. So you don't need to add water because the meat will produce enough juice to cook the barbacoa in the crock pot. So let's just take a minute to take a look at this glorious slow-cooked beef cheek. This is exactly the texture you want this beef to be. You want it to be able to fall apart with just the touch of your fork. So I'm ready to shred this and make some tacos. And of course I have the essentials. Keep it simple, keep it basic. I have some corn tortillas, diced onion, some fresh cilantro, and my favorite salsa, and you know that's a roasted tomatillo salsa. By the way, I will put that video icon at the end of this video, so if you want to make the salsa for yourself, you can. This is seriously one of my favorite recipes. No more waiting outside the carniceria on Sunday mornings for barbacoa, tortillas, and menudo, because I can make it here at home. I will say this, growing up, we used to wait outside of Matamoros meat market or Gerardo's, and that was in Houston, Texas. So shout out to you guys, because I tell you what, you made Sunday mornings better in my house. So back to my taco. I'm going to add some of the shredded barbacoa, and I'm also going to add some onion, some cilantro, and of course the salsa. And as always, the ingredients will be listed in the description box below. I hope you give this recipe a try. I hope you like it, and thanks for watching. Hey guys, you can click on the video icons for more recipes, or you can click on my picture icon to subscribe. Thanks for watching.